I'm Seiji Suzuki. That's my full name, and I'm 26 years old. I'm Japanese and Filipino.
And you were saying your mom is Filipino and your dad is.
Yeah, my mom is Filipino and my dad is Japanese.
How did they meet?
I have no idea. My mom doesn't really want to talk about my dad like that. Yeah, so like growing up, he wasn't really in the picture. It was just my mom. It was just me and my mom and my siblings, basically. Yeah.
And you said you have two siblings.
I do have two siblings. I have a little sister and I have a older brother. Yeah, which also gay.
Oh, really?
He's
Wow.
also gay. Yeah.
Your mom got lucky.
I know. My mom was like, "When can I have grandchildren?" I'm like, maybe wait for my sister. You know? Yeah. She's like 15. She's like, I don't know if I'm still alive that time. I'm like, don't worry about it. Yeah.
That's funny. So what was like growing up like for you guys? You guys like pretty close, your siblings and your mom?
Me and my brother, my older brother, were pretty close, I would say. But we do fight, but siblings. Yeah, we did get along together because we both like the same thing. Yeah. And my sister, yeah, we're really close. Like, I take care of her all the time. Like, clothes, hair, and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I guess she's lucky. She has two older gay brothers. They can make sure she's always looking good and
Yeah.
doing the right things. So you said born here in Japan,
Mhm.
and then you guys moved down to the Philippines when
Yeah.
you were younger. So do you remember that like vividly? Do you remember what
I
it was like?
do remember it, yeah, vividly because I was like really young. It was really different compared to, here. Because when I went to the Philippines, I was pretty open about myself. Like, I would play with my doll, and my family in the Philippines pretty much accepted it, except for my stepdad, which is my older brother's father. He didn't accept all of that.
Yeah. How old were you when you moved to?
How old was I? 7?
And then you came back to Japan after
I
that.
did. Yeah, I did came back to Japan from like I was like 5th grade, I think. Yeah,
And then do you feel like when you came back here, where's your family or your communities of accepting as?
it was really hard for me.
Really?
I had to start over. Yeah, so like new culture, new languages, like new friends, new people. I had to learn Japanese from the start, like from the basic, and like my mom and like my uncle was like get him to school already. So like as soon as I arrived, I went to like they enrolled me to a school already. Like I was on 5th grade, I think. Yeah, yeah. And then imagine like going on a 5th grade, you don't know what they're talking about. Like, you don't know the language at all. It was really hard.
No, I mean it's hard for people just changing schools, even if it's in
Yeah.
your same city or a different state, or
Yeah.
How'd you like get through that? Was it like your family? You just had no choice. You had to make friends. You
Yeah,
had to learn.
I didn't have choice.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me, but I did get through it eventually. But at first it was really hard because like I get the bullying. I thought they were gonna be pretty accepted because I'm part Japanese, but they don't really like that.
Really?
Yeah, cause like when I was a kid, I had a really tan skin, and they would make fun of that. Yeah, like because I was a little darker compared to them, they don't really like that. Yeah, and I couldn't speak Japanese, so like I couldn't defend myself. So they would make fun of me for being not saying anything.
So it makes you like a doubly easy target. Like
Yeah.
you look different.
Yeah, I look different. I can't speak Japanese. So like what am I gonna do? But since I was in the Philippines when I was younger, like I was really strong. Like I could fight.
So
You
you
know?
can throw down.
I could fight. So I remember like this is probably like the most memorable thing when I was elementary is when these two young boys tried to like hold me so they can fight. But then I was like a little taller than them, so like I just
Stop.
yeah, I did. And ever since then, they stopped, bullying me. And when I got home, I told my mom and my uncle about it, and my uncle called the school, and the principal and the vice principal showed up to my house, and they were apologizing. And that's when the bullying stopped, I think. Yeah.
it's where I usually don't condone violence, but I know like that's usually if you show force, if you can't do it through your words or through anything else, like
If they started it, I'm gonna end it.
period.
Because like I don't really, fight like that. But if you started it, I'm gonna defend myself.
So then, I guess those things growing up, like, well, one, did you know you were gay when you were younger? Or,
Oh yeah, I did. Because I remember my mom gave me a toy, it's called Voltes 5. It's like a Japanese version of Transformer, and I remember being mad because I wanted a dollhouse. I wanted to play with it, and my mom just accepted it. She was like, okay, if that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get. Yeah.
So at least you have like that love and stability
Yeah.
in your home. and
Yeah,
that
I'm
probably-
really thankful for my mom and my brother for, being accepting. Yeah.
So do you think I guess being half Japanese, was that probably the biggest adversity as a kid, or was like were you bullied for being gay at all?
I think being half Japanese and Filipino
Mm.
is probably like the biggest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Filipino specifically, or if you're half anything, you're made fun of.
I think in Japan specifically, if you're half like Southeast Asian or like Chinese or like American, like people of color, they will make fun of you. But if you're half Japanese and half white, they will be more accepting and they will like envy you. Yeah. Because like I experienced that when I was in high school, in junior high school. If you're like half Japanese and half white, you'll be popular. You will be popular. I'm telling you. Like in my experience and like in my school, people who were half white and half Japanese tend to be like, the popular in school. I don't know in some other school though, but like in my school, it was like that. That's why like most of my friends when I was in elementary was half Filipino as well. Yeah, half Filipino, half Chinese. I didn't really have Japanese friends like that. Even now, I don't think I have Japanese friends.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, most of my friends are like Filipino, Americans. Yeah, most of them are foreigner, or they're Japanese, but they grew up in a foreign country. Yeah.
So that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about just like you would think that a place like Japan and Tokyo, that's such an international city,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
people would
yeah.
be more open and accepting. But
I think back then it was pretty hard, but I feel like nowadays they're pretty, accepting. They are more open to, have a conversation, or like they're like pretty open now. I would say, because my sister doesn't, I ask her sometimes, do you experience, getting bullied or something just because you're Filipino and Japanese? And she said no, she doesn't experience it. So I feel like now they're more accepting, I would say. Yeah.
is there a large Filipino community in Tokyo?
In Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot of Filipino. So like I had a lot of Japanese Filipino friends growing up. I think the backstory of it was back in 1980s, 70s when Filipino women would travel abroad to get to work overseas to support their family. I think that's most of it, because like Filipino people are very hardworking. So back then they would travel to Japan, anywhere like Canada, America, just to support their family. And some of them are like, met someone here and started a new family. Yeah, so I think that's probably like one of the reasons why there's a lot of Japanese, like there's a lot of Filipino here.
So and then I guess in all that, do you have like, how do you identify? Do you feel yourself more Japanese because you've lived here longer, or do you feel like just because of your closeness of your Japanese Filipino families and more Filipino feeling?
I'm still, figuring that out, because last year I went back to the Philippines, like to travel. And last year was the first time I went back since like 2013. So like it was like 30, yeah, 10 years, 10 or 11 years. And when I went back, I felt like a foreigner somehow. So it's really like, 50-50 for me. In the Philippines, I'm not, Filipino enough. in Japan, I'm not Japanese enough. So like I don't know where to identify as. So I just say, I'm mixed. That's it, yeah. Because if I said like I'm Filipino people would be like, no, you're not.
Right.
Yeah, like you're not.
Yeah.
And so like if I say I'm Japanese people would be like, I don't know. So like I don't know, because sometimes I would go to restaurant, I would go to a mall, a shop. They would talk to me in English, so I would assume like I don't look Japanese enough for them, you know. But in the Philippines, I look Japanese, so like it's very confusing.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
it's very hard.
as like a young person too. That's gonna be
Yeah.
hard. You can identify as both because you are both.
Yeah.
Like, the world will look at you as not one or the other.
Yeah. But culture-wise, I feel like I am more into like Filipino side.
Yeah, like food, music, like
Yeah, food, music, everything. Not really into Japanese culture like that. Cause like in my house that I grew up with was all Filipino. Yeah. And the only Japanese person was my uncle. Yeah, which is my auntie's husband. So like he was the only Japanese person in the house. All of them, like all of us, were Filipino.
well, that would make sense. And yeah, definitely feeling more Filipino then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then between high school, graduating high school, and now, how have you kind of used your identity, or how do you think your identity has shaped where you ended up?
Growing up, my mom was like, she's very hardworking. So I think that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
Like I can't just focus on one thing. I think it's also because of my ADHD.
Yeah.
Like my unmedicated ADHD is also, part of that.
Yeah.
That I can't focus on one thing because I get tired of it easily. That I want to, do other things. So now I just do all of them at the same time.
Hey.
Yeah.
If it makes it happy. So you said that you work in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You work as a translator. Is that between
Japanese and English? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. How'd you get into that?
I don't know. I think I started doing it for my friend. Like I just wanted to help them.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes they don't know how to communicate with Japanese people. So I'd be like, I can help you. Like I could write the papers and I could talk to the person and I would translate it for them. And I was like, what if I do it, to get money? And I think that's when I started doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like teaching Japanese or?
I don't know. Cause like my Japanese, I'm not really confident about my Japanese.
Okay.
Like I could speak fluently, but I didn't learn the keigo. Keigo is like the formal Japanese way, like the professional way to speak Japanese. I still struggle using that because you learn that at a very young age from elementary. So like I basically skipped like 5 years of learning that. So I suck at it. So like even though I work in a hotel, I rarely use it because I mostly speak English.
I was gonna say, is like day to day and on the street, is that professional Japanese used more, or is it something more casual?
Something more casual, I think. Yeah, but if you go to like a shop, people would use a formal way, which I still don't. Yeah, I'm like no.
I can see that, yeah, especially missing out on those formative years of when you learn the basis and all that, and then coming in, being bullied and being forced to learn Japanese very quickly too.
I literally learned it when for like a year and a half. I was learning it almost every day. Yeah, I would stay up till like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. to write everything.
So that goes to that hard work.
So it was really hard.
Yeah. And then I think the most important part for me, the drag.
The drag.
Yeah, it's a drag. I used to. I wouldn't say I had a fear of drag queens, but it was just like something I'd never seen.
Fear?
A fear. People don't laugh at me.
Wait, why?
So it was like, it sounds so bad, but like how people had a fear of clowns. It was just something like.
So you think we're clowns or something?
Yeah, I know. But no, I started going to like drag shows when I was like 24 or 25 or so. And love it. Like the humor is so much fun, and
Yeah.
I just love the community around it too. So how did you get into the drag
I
community?
started doing drag like 2 years, 2.5 years, I think, ago. And me and my friends were in this birthday party. Well, they're not my friends at that time.
Yeah.
So we were just at the birthday party, different friend group. So we were talking about Drag Race because we love it. We were just talking about it, and then few of the people stepped in. They were like, "You guys watch Drag Race too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." So I think that's the start of it. And we were just like, we should get together and like do drag. So we booked a hotel, and we just started doing our makeup, our own makeup, and our hair, outfit. Oh my god, we look like a mess that time, but we had so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I felt so happy. I was like, oh my god, I found my people. So like because I didn't really have a friends that watch Drag Race like that. So like when I met them, that changed my life. I think. I think that happened like probably like twice a month. We would rent a hotel and we would spend a night there just doing our makeup. And then one of my sister, her mom is doing a fundraising for her birthday. So her mom did like a fashion show and also like a fundraising. And her mom was like, "Y'all should do a show at my birthday." So her birthday was big, extravagant. They did it in Hilton, in Shinjuku, in Hilton Hotel. So that's our debut performance at my sister's mother's birthday party slash fundraising slash fashion show.
I mean, that sounds like the perfect place for a drag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
And people liked it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they loved it. So people like saw us performing, in somebody's story, in my story, in like, Instagram. And then that's basically when, it started. So we just kept, getting booked.
Really.
Yeah. We started doing drag in Roppongi, which is the straight district, straight clubs. Yeah. Straight clubs, One Oak, Zeus, all of that. That's when we started doing drag. We did that for like over a year. And then we stepped into Shinjuku, the gay district. Because we didn't really want to go there because low-key we were like kind of scared.
Really.
Because like the Tokyo drag scene is like very small, so we get intimidated. So like we were like, what if we're not enough, we're not good enough, so we didn't really believe in ourselves. So we waited for like a year and a half to finally go to Shinjuku, and everybody was gagged. Everybody was like, where were you guys? And we were like, we were in a Roppongi. We were in the gay clubs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we were in
the
a straight clubs. Yeah,
right.
yeah. So that's when it started, I think. Yeah.
And so the past year and a half now, you've been booked and busy over in Shinjuku.
Yeah. Me and my sister, because we're in a house. With it's called House of Wang. So right now it's four members. Yeah, so like everybody's just busy, booked and busy. And now I'm like busy with, making wigs. That's what I love.
How did you get into that? Was it like with the drags or something you had interest in before? Is it going back to like playing with dolls?
Yeah, playing with dolls, I would cut their hair, style it. But now I get to make my own hair, Of course, like I would watch YouTube video, tutorial and everything. And then when I did it, it was really good. And I was like, maybe I should do it, I should take this seriously. So I did. And when I did it, all my friends were shocked. I'm like, you did that? I'm like, yeah, I did.
Talking like what kind of wigs? Lace front, like the big
Oh
font
yeah,
ones,
lace front, like big and like rhinestone, like spiky and everything. Yeah, I did that.
Going back to kind of a question I had earlier. So like, I guess being gay in Tokyo or Japan is not like as not frowned upon really. Is it accepted? Is it It seems like it seems like a smaller community than I would assume like a big city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you go to Shinjuku, Nichome, like the gay district, you would think like, oh, it's pretty accepting here, you know? But that's only in Nichome, I think. If you go somewhere else, you will not see the things that you see in Nichome. Yeah, I think. But they're pretty accepting, I would say, especially the younger generation. The old people are probably, doesn't like it, you know. But I think the younger generation is pretty, accepting
And
about like gay people.
yeah, and gay marriage is not quite legal here, right?
In Shibuya, there's this thing called partnership. It's not really a marriage, but it's about being partner in a same sex. Only in Shibuya, I think. That's what I heard of. Maybe there's few more city, but now I think it's only in Shibuya.
Is this something you think people are pushing for?
Yeah,
or
definitely. Yeah, they're trying to push same-sex marriage, but I don't think it's gonna happen in Tokyo, especially the population is kind of shrinking. It's really bad, and I don't really want to get into the Japanese politics, but when it comes to LGBTQ, I do, hear some of it that, they don't really accept it, like the same-sex marriage, because the population is already shrinking. If they accepted it, then it would just get worse. But I think that's not the reason, you know?
Right. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's just
It
like,
doesn't.
right.
It doesn't. Even if you ban same-sex marriage, I don't think people are going to have children. And I understand, because living in Tokyo is probably like, really expensive. Like, you're already struggling, like, by yourself, like, let alone have another human being to take care of. So it's really hard, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know the work culture here, like corporate culture.
Oh my god, yeah, I hate it. I don't like it. I hate the Japanese, corporate. I hate working there. Yeah, it's stressful. And that's probably one of the reasons why the suicide rate in Japan is very high, because of the working culture. And it's pretty stressful, I would say.
Yeah. I've always read studies about that and heard the stories. And
Yeah.
even with the gates they had to put on every subway station and all that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's there's clearly like a deeper root issue that
Yeah.
people are addressing. Yeah.
They don't really want to talk about it, The mental health issue here in Japan. I don't know. They choose to ignore it. I think people should talk about it more. It's more healthy, I would say.
It is. Especially, yeah. I would say people that come from either an oppressed or other community, we have to have a little bit more. We have more openness because we have to talk about it because we have to totally protect ourselves. And then when you realize that people don't do that as much and how damaging it is, there's definitely value in that dialogue. So, because you're 26?
I'm 26. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think like your future holds for you?
Yeah, part of me wants to keep going with my drag and wig and everything. But like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't think I'm still going to be in Japan. I'm already, planning on moving somewhere else, because I've been living here for such a long time that I want to experience or live in other country, new culture, new people,
Do you have your eyes on anywhere specific?
I was gonna go to Canada, but then I stopped. I already planned everything. Like, I already got my visa, like my working holiday visa, but then I stopped. I canceled it last minute because like my drag career here was going, So I was like, you know what? Maybe later. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. I have to figure that out.
Yeah. Okay. If there's anything you'd recommend for people to come and see, if like from what you do like about being in Tokyo?
To visit?
To visit, to visit, yeah.
Definitely Nichome, Shinjuku, like the gay district.
Yeah.
It's a different side of Tokyo that you don't get to see. Definitely come on Friday or Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially Saturday. Saturday is crazy. But of course, the places that I really love in Japan are probably Kyoto. Kyoto is my favorite place. Kyoto is beautiful. It's a different side of Japan that I really like. Kyoto and Fukuoka. Fukuoka is really nice too.
And then any advice you could give to people based off of just like who you are in your life? It's like, what would you say to the youths coming up?
I would say just be yourself. You know, people are probably gonna talk about like negative about yourself, but just brush it off. Like, don't listen to them. You know, I know it's hard, but it's gonna get better. Because I wish people, I wish someone said that to me. Because growing up, I didn't really had that, I would say. But yeah, just be yourself. Be confident about who you are. Do what you like. Don't listen to what other people might say. And yeah.
If you do, just bust their heads together.
Yeah. I know. Violence is not cool, but
hey,
if you had to do it, just do it.
Sometimes you got to do it. Awesome. Cool. Any questions for you? Any other thoughts? Or
what is it like in America?
I don't know. The States are interesting. It's like on one hand, I love it. It's like everything you love about anywhere you go, you can find in the States in certain places, but then everything you hate about the world is also in the States. And I feel like every time I leave, I can't escape it because there's like American pop music or American references or just like...
Oh my God, yeah. It's just everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's
It's inescapable to be American.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, there's always, influence.
And good or bad. I don't know. It's a weird time right now. We're all just kind of like waiting to see what happens for the next 4 years if we make it out. I always feel like the rational middle people always prevail, and it seems like for the most part, like day to day, it doesn't feel that bad over there. But when you start to look a little bit deeper, then you can realize it's actually kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I do. I heard a few things about it because like most of my friends are Americans. I used to work in Yokosuka, so Yokosuka is the Navy base, American base. Because I used to date someone there for about 3 years, so like I did hear a lot of things about America.
Yeah, everything you probably heard is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.